Producers, how are you guys doing today? In this video, I'll be making a beat in the style of EastBound, and this is because a lot of people were requesting this, and as well, the support for the Wonder Girl tutorial is through the roof, so I figured I would do this one as well. You guys would probably appreciate it and like it as well. So first things first, we're gonna need a sample, something that sounds dark and loopable, so I'm just gonna find that. That's the first order of business right now, and hopefully I can find something that sounds decent. Alright, so I found a sample. I accidentally dragged it to a MIDI track instead of an audio track, but here's what it sounds like. Let's unwarp it first of all, because I have my auto warp on in the preferences, so we don't want that. So that's what we're gonna use. And we're gonna cut it right there. Now, first things first, we need to make sure that this is aligned to our BPM. So if I turn on the BPM right now, it's not aligned. Now I'm gonna put this at 120 BPM. I'm gonna warp this clip real quick, and we're just gonna start this right at the beginning. Now, I feel like it's a little bit fast. As you can tell right here, this point is a little bit delayed, so I'm gonna take this down. There we go, that's a little bit better. But it seems like at different points it goes at different BPMs, so maybe right here it is at 138 or 139 or so. What I'm gonna do is actually put this at 138.8 or so, and let's go ahead and put this right there. Okay, let's try 139. Perfect. Let's get some reverb. Let's make this sound good. Let's turn off this metronome because I know it annoys some people with how loud it is. We can always turn it down with this blue bar right here, this blue meter. But I'm just gonna turn it off. Oh, you know what? Delay would sound so good with this. That's interesting as hell. So I'm gonna hit Command G, create a different chain, and then I will put reverb on this chain right here. We're gonna put that at 100%. All right, decent. Now what I'm going to do next is come up with a bass line. That's the next order of business. I'm debating between Massive and Serum. Let's go ahead and eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So there you go, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, Serum. Now I'm going to get, I already know what bass I'm gonna get. It's obvious. We need that OVO bass. So I'm gonna get, where is it? Either the OVO or the Tiller bass. The Tiller one sounds a little bit softer, a little bit more pleasant, but this is the OVO bass right here. Sounds pretty cool. Now we also have the Tiller one. This is more of like, I don't know. They're both Toronto style basses, so let's start with OVO. Down. Damn, that's perfect. It's right on C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, let's see what I can come up with here. I gotta imagine it in my head before I start doing this. Maybe something like that. I don't know, this sounds so corny right now. Like the notes are so borderline annoying. Not annoying, but they sound like they're doing too much. So I might change it. So let's get this. Oh, that's kind of cool. Now this note has to be different. Alright, so I'm just gonna mute that note. Now, what was I doing? But what I was gonna do is now take out the bass from the sample, obviously, because now we have bass in the other one. So right here, instead of having this little weird gap, I'm just gonna have it glide downwards. Now this bass is from the Lush kit. I don't think I even said that when I picked it out, but it's a preset and it has glide on it, so I just turned up the glide time. Now this should glide a little bit better. Damn, this is nice. I like this chord progression as well. So the next order of business is getting the drums down, getting a nice rhythm, and then I'm gonna add the 808. So real quick, I'm gonna choose some drums. Now, real quick, let me go over some of the drums that I picked out. I have a kick, a snare, that nice Toronto snare. I have another snare, closed hi-hat, another closed hi-hat, and 2 open hi-hats. Now these are all from my Trap Essentials kit. I recently came out with an update for it, and the reason why I'm explaining this is because now it's divided into sub kits, and as you can tell by the title, it says 6, and this is from the Trap Essentials 6 kit. So the 6 kit is more like inspired by a Toronto sound, and I really just added a huge amount of sounds to Trap Essentials, and then like I categorized it. That way it's easier to browse than the older version. So definitely check out Trap Essentials. But those were the drums that I picked, and I came up with a basic pattern. This is what it sounds like right here. So wait, real quick, let's just listen to our whole thing right now. And I think that Wonder Girl, EastBound, all of them, they like to actually play their drums. So right there I was trying to do a triple roll, but I was only using one finger at the time, so there was no way I was getting that triple roll in there. Oh no, never mind. It was supposed to be right here. The triple roll. Anyways, as long as you get the main idea down, the rest is just done by mouse. So real quick, I'm just gonna select everything and hit Command U to quantize it. I'm just gonna repeat that pattern. Next, what we're going to do is just duplicate this, drag this pattern over here, and let's get rid of this hi-hat. Okay, that's gonna be our little pattern right here, and we're gonna get rid of this this bass right here and create a new track, and we're gonna call this 808. I think what I'm gonna do is with this pattern right here, with this sample, I'm gonna pitch it up an octave. Or maybe down. This is so like beautiful. Okay, maybe with the intro part, I'll pitch it down an octave. Alright, so real quick, I will be using an 808 from my 808 Essentials kit. I'm deciding between the Asphalt 808 and the Gritty 808. I think I'm gonna go with the Gritty one. And if we do need to change it, then I'll just go back and do that later. So anyways, the Gritty 808, let's see, it sounds like this. I think that sounds more like an EastBound type bass. Anyways, let's put up the let's turn on gliding first of all, and let's put that up to 250. And for some damn reason, oh, I have warping on, so you want to turn that off. Actually, warping can be a very cool creative effect, but for the case of bass slides and all that, we want to turn it off. Yeah, that definitely sounds like a Toronto style 808, so we're going for that style. Let's copy this bass line, put it right here. Now we want to be way more creative in this, so what we're going to do is just mute everything. Now if you want a more aggressive sound, the solution is to create more plucky and staccato instruments. So in the case of this sound and this sample, it's very chill and very elongated, and that's gonna create a chill sound. So if I want to create something that's aggressive and that hits hard, I need it to be stabby and I need it to have a sharpness to it. So what I like to do is just get auto pan. This is like my go-to trick. I turn the phase down. Actually, real quick, let's turn up the amount. If I turn down the phase, you can see that the left and the right channels align, and that then becomes a single volume control. And then from there, I align it to the BPM, and I choose like a good rhythm, and then I put it, I guess, in this mode if I want more of a stabby kind of sharp sound. But maybe we can try like quarter notes. Let's try inverting it. I don't know. Let's just keep it at normal for now. So I'm getting that bounce. We want as many notes as we can possibly get on the quarter notes to align with our other sound, which is now at a quarter note rhythm. So all of my 808s are on quarter notes so far. And then maybe at the end we can switch it up. So like right there's a 8th note. Now right now it sounded very corny, so I will definitely have to make some changes eventually. And then right there. Hell no. What the heck? Okay, this is weird. Maybe up here. And then up to a C. Alright, so we're definitely gonna have to change some notes in the near future, but this is what we have so far. This is the general rhythm of our sound, or of our loop. Now let's go ahead and solo our chords and our 808. And I feel like this should be a G. Matter of fact, this bass note right here should still be a G. So let's go ahead and unsolo everything. Maybe that'll sound cool. Nope. Yo, that's definitely something that we might do. Okay, let's duplicate this pattern. And real quick, let's extend some of these notes. Let's hit legato. Now what legato did is that it extended all of our notes until they touched the next one. Now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna right click this simpler right here, and we're gonna hit this button right here that says simpler to sampler. And the reason why I'm putting it in a sampler, basically it's gonna keep the same settings, but with the sampler we can have pitch bends. So I'm gonna go to this MIDI tab and turn the pitch bend range up to 24. And now we can go within our clip and we can hit this little E down here, and we have this pitch bend automation right here. And this is how you get those antidote glides, or whatever you want to call them, stuff like that. Like things of that nature are created with these pitch bend slides. We can even do some slight upward pitch bends, I guess. I am going to think of probably another instrument that we can add. I'm gonna go get another sound. Let's browse Lush real quick one more time. I think I'm gonna use my Massive kit for the sounds because it has more of a ambient vibe to it. So okay, these are basses. Let's get some key patches or something. So I found a preset, key number 23 in Future Beats under the key patches. And that's the melody I'm gonna play. So let's go ahead and record that. Trust me, it's gonna be so sick. I don't know what I was doing at the end. I was trying to like improvise. I forgot what. I was gonna do something else right there. All right. Alright, maybe that can work. My timer's going off. Real quick, let me transpose this up an octave. Now this is a beautiful sound, but as you can tell, it doesn't fit. Now, a lot of beginner producers, or I don't know, if you're not very well experienced, you may feel discouraged because you can't find sounds that fit. Really, the key to sound design in general is to just have basic sounds and presets pre-made, and then you can edit them to make them fit. So right now I'm gonna add a reverb to make this sound a little bit more ambient and fit with the rest of this song. Now I feel like this is a little bit aggressive of a sound, so maybe ping pong delay will be better. And then let's bring this sound a little bit more to the back by lowering the volume. And obviously we're gonna have one more sound, like as in another lead, so that's gonna fill up the space a little bit better as well. Alright, so I duplicated this melody and kind of tidied it up a little bit. I think what I need to do right now though is like quantize it, except for like at a few points, like right here. So I'm going to select all of that and hit Command U. And now it should be pretty much good. One other thing I did is change the bass line a little bit. Some of those notes were sounding weird, like the placement was weird, so I changed it at the end here. Next up, I was gonna, one sec, I gotta move my mic. I was going to create a track for the hi-hats. So I was gonna get this open or this closed hi-hat right here. Which one? I think I'm gonna get this one. Let me just show it in the browser. All right, hi-hat number 14 from the 6 kit. I'm going to place one single long note. So this is gonna look kind of strange, but what I'm going to do is get an arpeggiator so that it keeps repeating a single note. And I'm actually going to change the steps to like, I don't know, like -4, so that it alternates between pitches. And then I'm gonna set it at a rate of 1/8 notes, I guess, and I'll have one step. So now we're getting this up and down effect. If I didn't have this distance right here, it would sound just like a straight hi-hat, which sounds pretty cool, but I want to try -4. Actually, let's see what this looks like. Okay, now that's weird. This time I'm gonna get the other hi-hat, this one right here. So we're just gonna create a normal hi-hat roll. Alright, so decent. And I'm going to repeat this like every 2 bars, I guess. I think it's every 2 bars. Now let's lower this down. Actually, what I'm going to do is get a frequency shifter to lower the pitch. It's better. Why did it just go do-do-do-do-do-do? I guess this got quantized. Alright, cool. So real quick, let me show you guys the power of transposing stuff. Let's get this sample right here. Let's go here, transpose it up an octave. Now listen to this. That just sounds gorgeous. Actually, something I want to do is start arranging this beat, and then what we're going to do is like add little cut points where the beat cuts out and things of that nature, and little fills, and we're gonna add like more snares and stuff. So I'm gonna real quick just arrange these blocks in a way that sounds cool, and then be right back. Alright, so time to find a final lead instrument. So I'm gonna go with Massive again, Future Beats, and we're gonna look around the leads. Super loud. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is first of all just come up with a melody in this part right here. Let me just get rid of the kick and just add this. just so that we have a nice rhythm going and we can hear the background and melody, and just get something that works, and then we're gonna throw that into the actual chorus or the drop or whatever. So let me look under like pads. Interesting. And it's raining outside, so there's probably a ton of background noise. Oh, that's nice. It's so ambient. I feel like there's a filter on here. It's really cool. I like that, that's cool. Damn, there's thunder outside. So real quick, I'm gonna use that lead that I found right here to go ahead and come up with a melody, and I'm gonna come back. So I actually came up with two melodies. As you can tell, I have this one right here, and I should consolidate it real quick, and then I have this one. Now this one is in a different track because I added an Ableton grand piano right here, and I decided to put it right there. But this is what the original melody sounded like that I created for our massive sound. I think it's this one. Something's up. I guess I'll keep it right there. There we go. So that's the melody. Now this is the other one. Let's just solo these two tracks. So it's just an ARP. And I'm going to put it right here, back where it was. Now what I'm going to do is now keep working on the drums. We actually have a basic arrangement right here. Let's work on the bass line first with those glides, because I feel like now is the time to go ahead and do that. So that second one, second 808 right here, I'm gonna have like a upwards steady glide at the end here, and then right here we're gonna have like a downwards glide. Let's make this glide a little bit more. And let's do that. I want it to go nah, nah. That's kind of cool. Now it's a little bit high, so I'm gonna be a little bit more subtle with it. But now it's going to like a different note, so we want to be at like the halfway point or so. Let's keep going. There we go. And let's try to duplicate this. Alright, that's a little bit better. Now on this second part, we're gonna go crazy. And I'm gonna go to glide time under I think pitch, and then I'm going to turn up the glide time here. And real quick, let's go back to that original one and hit the arrow again. And let's make this like pop up a little bit faster. Alright, we're gonna have a downward glide right here. Maybe an upwards glide. There we go, I like that. And then right here we're gonna have a glide. Here, let's go back to the notes by hitting this arrow. Let's make this into a double 808 instead of one single one. And let's add a little gap right there. Let's have an upwards one right here. Downwards one right here. And there we go, we have our 808 pattern. Let's just color this a little bit differently. Let's make it, I don't know, not that color, that's too close to the other one. I guess I'll make it purple. So I'm liking this song. Next up, what we're gonna do is do what I was going to do earlier, which is chop up different parts and like create little chops and screw around with the beat and stuff. Like right here. Let's see, let's automate the, actually let's get a utility. This is something that I like to do because there's a mute button on the utility, so you don't have to use the track mute. So with the mute button, we can mute wherever we want it to stop. And let's put that on every track that I want to stop. So for example, the hi-hat, like this one right here. And then let's hit this arrow right here, go back to the notes and make this nice and short. That's sexy right there, I'm telling you. And then right when this 808 hits again, we want to enable the track again, so let's unmute it. Actually, we can keep it muted, but just at least get the hi-hats to be unmuted at that point. And with this audio track, I'm probably gonna have to boost the volume in the mixing process because it's not too audible right now. Alright, let's have another mute like right there. Basically everywhere the snare is gonna hit. Now something I'm gonna do is add like a pitch stop to this. So I'm gonna go to max for live, max audio effect, and I'm gonna go with pitch drop. All right, right here. Damn. Let's do the same thing like right there on the melody. And let's make it longer. Alright, real quick, let's get this pitch drop, put it on the 808 as well. Now what I'm gonna try to do is reverse this, freeze the track, create a new audio track, and then copy this onto here, and then I'm going to unfreeze this, unreverse this, mute it, and turn this up to a good volume right here. And reverse it. And we get a reverse effect. So it's kind of like, I don't know, a upwards pitch instead of a drop. And then let's keep this, but let's just fade the volume out a little bit faster. Alright, now what I'm going to do is add like some fills. So let's create an audio track, and I'm gonna go to the fills kit. Now the fills kit is part of the Hip Hop Essentials kit now, so it comes with Hip Hop Essentials, but originally it was its own separate kit. You can still buy it as a separate kit though. So let's get something random. Usually if you just get something random and try it, you get ideas just from having that. So let's look at the BPM. Seems like the BPM of this one is 116, so let's set the segment BPM to 116. Oh my goodness, that sounds good. There's a lot going on. It's kind of loud in that section. So what I'm gonna do is go to beats mode and hit the single arrow so that it's a one shot, and at every transient it's going to slowly cut it down as I turn down this value. So now it's adding like this artificial feeling to it, I guess, because it's so choppy and so well cut. And what we can do is try to like double the time and see what this sounds like right here. It's too much. But we can do something really, really crazy just by repeating one part. So that's how fills work. If you ever hear those crazy drum rolls and you're just like, what the fuck? How am I ever gonna be able to do this in production ever? Really, chances are it's just a sample or a combination of samples from a fill, and then they just added it to their own arrangement and then mixed it so that it sounds like it's part of the song. I'm looking for a different one. That one sounds good. Let's add that right here. That's fire. This is insane right here. Now you can even add a fill in between like different parts, like right here where we have the doom doom. Now that one doesn't sound particularly good right there. There we go, that's nicer. So fills are just what they sound like. They're fills. They fill up space. So sometimes it's cool just to add silence somewhere and then you know, create a fill. So let's get another sample. We can even get the same like sample, but let's try to be creative here. I know this video is getting long, so it's probably gonna be like cut down a little bit, but for the most part, let's try to be creative. All right, let's try to, there we go. So listen to how dirty it sounded at first. Now, when you use the transient mode and you hit this icon right here, you can really clean up a sound. So a lot of these fills are actually strategically chosen like for the rhythmic content, because I know you can clean it up. So some of them may not sound super high quality, but you can really make them work. All right, last kind of thing right here. Back to the Trap Essentials kit. You can go to percussion. Hopefully there's a tom. Or what is it? I forgot what they're called. So this particular kit does not, the 6 kit doesn't have the toms. I think the plug kit definitely does under the percussion. Each kit has its own kind of type of percussion, I guess. So I think something like that sounds good. So right here, I was gonna add it. Now obviously that's super long, so I'm gonna cut out this tail. Just put it right here. We're gonna hit warp just for the sake. Actually, we don't even need to warp it. Really, what we're doing with that transient thing, where we were like pulling down the arrow right here, is that we're just fading out the tails of every single hit. So we can go to fades for this and just fade out the tail manually, and this way we have more control. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna probably like finish filling up the fills. You guys get the point of how fills work. And then maybe I'll add one more instrument, but this song is basically complete. I'll show you guys the last instrument that I add on camera. Something to fill up the space, maybe just a little bit more, maybe some chords or something. I added a crash on every second, or actually on every 5th bar, technically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So every 5th bar there's this crash. The 6th crash, number 3. From Trap Essentials. And then what I did is I actually layered this other snare. If you recall from earlier, I had selected multiple drums. Right now I'm using this one, but for the second part I just layered. Let me just do exactly what I did. I just took this pattern that we have right here, held Option. I don't know what that is on Windows, but on Mac it's just Option, and if you hold it and you drag, you can copy patterns. So I just copied that to our snare right here, and it gave us this duplicate pattern right here. And same thing right here, I just copied it down, and except for at this point where I just took these 2 hi-hats and copied those down right there, and then I muted the last snare. So now it sounds like this. That authentic Toronto style snare. So now we're really getting to that style. So I'm super pleased with this right now. Again, this is from the 6 kit from Trap Essentials. Now I'm gonna go back to finding a melody sound. All right, so I'm back and I have a chord progression in mind. So let's just go ahead and get started recording it. I'm using Lounge Lizard. I'm gonna try at a higher octave. So right here, I played the wrong chord. Maybe a C will sound, actually, instead of deleting the notes, let's just use the notes that I misplaced and try to create the right chord. Alright, I think that's good for the piano melody. I may change like one note if it starts to sound weird, but I think at this point we are done with the song. Maybe we'll browse some presets real quick. Most likely like a pad. That's beautiful. This is exactly why I wanted to add chords. It adds so much depth. This chord sounds weird right here. Alright, anyways, I'll fix that real quick. Alright, so I completed this chord progression. As you can tell, I created one chord progression, and then the second part there's variation, but it's basically the same progression, except I took these notes and brought them up an octave right here. But other than that, it's the same exact chord progression. And then what I did is I just copied it to the beginning. So if you really think about it, this is one variation, this is another variation, and that's the last variation. Really, I just do everything by ear, so that's why I skipped it. So please don't get mad at me. I just was trying different because I know what I want to hear next. So it's just a matter of me trying the chords. If I knew music theory exactly and I could pinpoint the name of the sound that I'm trying to hear next, then I would have just done it on camera, but there was no point. Anyways, I'm not going to make excuses all the time. Let's just keep moving. Now there's a few things I did. This part where we had the reverse, I added that to the beginning, right here to the end of the song, and this is like a transition point. Now with the preset for the chords, I chose key number 5, and not only that, but I'm planning on putting reverb on here. I may automate it or something. Now one last thing we're gonna do before I mix and master this song is let's go ahead and check on these hi-hats. I think what I'm going to do is just freeze the track, flatten it. This way I have control and it's not just a single MIDI note. Anyways, I'm going to mix and master this song and play the final product. Thanks for watching.